Made it back to snowy Queenstown, and this week we're going to be taking a look at this rig that I will be using for the Walker 100. It's all getting very real now. We're at 4 weeks to go. Okay, we're back and I'm very excited to unveil the bike that I'm going to be using for this race. Now, back when I entered the Walker 100 in November last year, I didn't even have a bike. I didn't even know what bike I was going to use. I thought I was just going to try and get like a second-hand bike and just make it work. But the opportunity came around with work to get some money off one of these bikes and I jumped at the opportunity. I'm pretty excited. Let's have a look. Hold on. I just need to make a point here that you do not need a fancy new bike to do a bike race. As long as your bike is safe and is working, just run what you've brung, and that's exactly what I've been doing the last couple of years, racing cross-country races on my trail bikes and my enduro bikes. But now it's time for me to see what's possible when I'm on a proper cross-country race rig. So that is what I've got. Let's go. This is my bike. I'm pretty excited about it. This is a Specialized Epic 8. This is the expert build, and I've made some changes out the box to what it is currently. Now, the setup that I'm currently running is the training setup, as you can see by these burly tyres that I've got on. I'm just using these to train heavy and then race light. I'll put back on the tyres that I got with the bike for the race itself because they're fast rolling, grip relatively well. One of the first things I did with this bike is I put ride wrap on it because this is literally my baby and I wanted to make sure that it was fully protected because I knew when I got back here that we were going to have some mixed weather. It was going to be a bit rainy, gross, disgusting, and I didn't want this just gorgeous bike to get ripped up by all the dirt. So we've got ride wrap on there. Those guys actually hooked me up and I'm beyond grateful for that. I actually nearly cried when they told me that we want to support you and give you this. So big ups to them. I actually have this on all of my bikes anyway, so that's pretty rad to have their support. It's something I use anyway and I was willing just to pay for because I know how good this is and how much coverage it gives. So some other changes out of the box that I have made are I've switched the wheels out, so I've got some zip wheels. I love the zip wheels on my enduro bike and I figured that a little bit extra compliance on some light carbon wheels is only going to be a positive when you're riding for such big hours. So another change I've made is I've put the code brakes on this bike because, again, I chose this one because I wanted to have the most fun possible. This isn't just going to be for racing the Walker 100. I want to be able to ride around and just have a great time on it. And just having that 120mm front and rear is going to be awesome. And then upgrading these brakes just means that I can ride some aggressive stuff and still be able to stop. So I've cut down the bars to 720. That's what I run on all of my bikes. I have weirdly changed one of the grips because I can't change the other one because I've only got half of a grip. ODI. These are the grips I run on all my bikes as well. I've run them for years. They're really low profile and I get on with them really well. So keep that consistent. A little bit weird to have two different sizes. Now, what I really like about this bike is that I've got lockout. And what a game changer that is. Like, let alone being on a cross-country bike, having like the different lockout options is amazing. Now, I had been like absolutely drooling over the S-Works build of this bike, which has the flight attendant, which talks to your power meter and changes and adjusts the suspension as you go, so it'll lock it out without you having to even do anything. That was my absolute dream. But this is the next best thing. So the other upgrade that I've made is I've put on an axis dropper post. I've got a 125mm axis dropper. This is the training setup that I'm running. When it comes to the race, I'll make a couple of other changes. So along with the tyres, I'll also change the drive chain. I've got an XX drive chain that I'm going to put on this, which I'm pretty excited about. One thing that will stay the same for training and the race is this XX crankset that I've got with the power meter on it. Now, that's been crucial within the training because it's given me a lot of objective data and can just keep me right and make sure we're training in the right zones. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we did a video on the training, so you can keep up with that if you want. Please just ignore the pedals. I'm going to get some cross-country pedals. I'm just not exactly sure which ones yet. So if you've got any recommendations, let me know. The other thing that I've changed is this saddle. Now, I ran this saddle a few years ago, Pro Logo W350. It's actually their e-bike saddle. It's like they're cheap. Like, this is an insane brand. They've got really expensive saddles on there. This is like the cheapest saddle they've got. And it's an e-bike saddle, but it is so comfortable. And now I've done like heaps of miles on this, loads of hours, no issues at all. It just works for me. Saddles are a huge thing, so finding one that works for you is a big deal. This one works. I'm not touching it. It's perfect. So a couple other cool features on this bike is this is the S2 size. This is like the size small rather than their extra small. I can fit 2 800ml bottles on this bike. Unheard of for a little small person like me, so I'm pretty excited about that because that'll allow me to carry bottles rather than a bag for some of the race, which is exciting. We've also got a little compartment here that I've put a tube in. In terms of settings and stuff, we'll finalise that because I'm still playing around with it. So we will do another check-in before the race to show you what I ride when it's race ready. That's the rough gist of my rig. Although I felt really comfortable on the bike when I first got on it, one of the things I did change was the stem. Just putting a shorter stem off of my enduro bike onto this little race rig, it's just made me feel a little bit more comfortable after 10 plus years riding these big enduro rigs. I've been blown away by how capable the bike is. It took me a little while to find the right pressures for the tyres and the suspension, but the time in Canada that I got just riding on endless epic single track really helped us align. Since getting back to Queenstown, I've found a whole new level on this bike and I'm absolutely loving it. Putting the bigger, burlier tyres on has definitely helped, but this footage here is actually on the cross-country tyres. Man, they roll fast. I'm having so much fun on this bike and I can't wait to let it rip around Rotorua. So it's been a couple of weeks since the last video because things have just been pretty busy, moving back to New Zealand, getting settled in again, but training's been going really well. Winter training at its best. But it's been funny climbing up this road because people keep tooting at me and like giving me thumbs up and stuff. Someone even took my picture. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know what's weird about this. I got past the danger zone. The big key as well is like we've got big travel and then we've got major temperature change scenario. So this is a high risk illness zone. I didn't get ill, which was awesome. And I've been stacking some solid hours on the bike. I ticked over 3,000 meters for the first time, which I've never done in my life before. So that was pretty cool to tick that one off. And really we're ramping things up. And next week it's crunch time. It's peak week. This is the final big week of training before we start tapering down for the event. Everything hurts. We are trialling some different nutrition strategy plans. Alright, that didn't work. I just puked all the way down the hill.